Howdy wood enthusiasts and accidental splinter collectors. Welcome to my workshop where we celebrate the beauty of imperfection in woodworking. Now, I'm a firm believer that the most valuable lessons are often carved from the misshapen scraps of our mistakes. Take it from a guy who once built a bookshelf so lopsided it could have doubled as a playground slide. Yeah, let's just say gravity and I weren't on speaking terms for a while after that one. But hey, that's part of the journey, right? That's why I'm here to share some of my most memorable woodworking blunders. The kind that make you question your sanity and the structural integrity of your project. Hopefully, by sharing these tales of cautionary craftsmanship, you can avoid some of the pitfalls I've stumbled through. There's a reason why the old adage measure twice, cut once has been passed down through generations of woodworkers. It's because those wise old wood whisperers knew that accurate measurements are the bedrock of any successful project. Now, I'm not saying I haven't eyeballed a measurement or two in my time. A true craftsman knows when to trust their instincts, but believe me, more often than not, those shortcuts lead to a whole lot of head-scratching and impromptu trips to the lumberyard. So, what's the secret to measuring like you mean it? Well, a sturdy tape measure is your best friend, but the real trick is to be meticulous. Double-check every mark, use a sharp pencil for clarity, and don't be afraid to pull out a good old-fashioned ruler for those critical cuts. We've all been there. You're driving a screw, feeling pretty good about your progress, and suddenly, it happens. That sickening feeling of the screwdriver slipping, the telltale whine of metal on metal, and the sinking realization that you've just stripped the screw head cleaner than a Thanksgiving turkey. Over-tightening is a rookie mistake, but even seasoned woodworkers can fall victim to its siren song. The key is to develop a feel for the right amount of torque. You want your screws snug and secure, but not so tight that you risk damaging the surrounding wood or, heaven forbid, stripping the screw head. A good rule of thumb is to stop turning the screwdriver as soon as you feel resistance. Remember, finesse over force, folks. Now I know what you're thinking. Sanding? Isn't that the tedious part we all dread? Well, yes and no. Sure, it can be a bit monotonous, but trust me, the quality of your sanding will make or break the final product. Think of sanding as the difference between a handshake that's firm and confident and one that's clammy and forgettable. You want your woodworking projects to make a statement, and that starts with a smooth, polished finish. The key is to use the right grit sandpaper for the job. Start with a coarser grit to remove any imperfections, and gradually work your way up to a finer grit for that silky, smooth finish. And don't be afraid to use your hands to feel for any rough spots. Your sense of touch is your greatest asset in the sanding game. In the world of woodworking, your tools are your dance partners. They can either glide across the wood with grace and precision or stomp all over your project like a drunken bear at a picnic. Choosing the right tool for the job is paramount, and yet, it's a mistake I see even experienced woodworkers make. We get set in our ways, reaching for the familiar even when it's not the best fit. For example, using a chisel when you really need a plane is like trying to eat soup with a fork. It's just not going to end well. Take the time to familiarize yourself with the strengths and weaknesses of each tool in your arsenal. Not all wood is created equal, my friends. Just like you wouldn't build a canoe out of balsa wood, well, I hope you wouldn't, you need to choose your lumber carefully based on the demands of your project. Each species of wood has its own unique personality. Its strengths, its weaknesses, and its own quirks. For example, pine is a relatively soft wood, making it easy to work with. But it's not ideal for projects that require a lot of durability. Hardwoods like oak or maple, on the other hand, are much tougher customers, but they require a bit more finesse and patience. Before you start hacking away, do your research and choose a wood that's well suited for the job at hand. Glue. The invisible force that holds our woodworking creations together. It's the duct tape of the woodworking world, but unlike duct tape, you can't just slap it on willy-nilly and expect good results. A successful glue-up requires precision, patience, and a good amount of pressure. Apply too little glue, and you risk a weak joint. Apply too much, and you'll have a sticky mess on your hands, literally. The key is to find that sweet spot, just enough glue to create a strong bond without squeezing out all over the place. And don't forget the clamps. Clamping is crucial for ensuring that the glued surfaces make full contact and cure properly. Well folks, there you have it, a glimpse into the chaotic, messy, and ultimately rewarding world of woodworking through the lens of my own mistakes. Remember, woodworking, like life, is a journey, not a destination. So, embrace the imperfections, learn from your blunders, and never be afraid to try something new. And hey, while you're at it, head down to the comments section and share some of your own woodworking misadventures. We can all learn from each other's sawdust-covered missteps. Until next time, keep those saws sharp, those spirits high, and remember, the only way to avoid making mistakes is to never pick up a tool in the first place. Now go out there and make something beautiful.